Today's the day. Good morning, guys. This is my beast of a truck. It is a 2014 Ram Cummins 2500. I've done a lot of work to this thing. This is my Squatch mobile, if you want to say that, my Squatch truck. I've got the rooftop tent. I've got my traction tracks, if you will, that if I ever get stuck or I need to get out of a pickle, I got those. This thing I put a lot of money into. Got a brand new transmission into it. So it's a built transmission. Cost me about 12,500 bucks. I've also got a tune in it to kind of help with that. So then that way I can pull up to 30,000 pounds with ease and at no issues at all. Then I've also upgraded the suspension. I put a Thurin 2.5, actually 2.75, almost a 3-inch lift on this thing with front and rear coils and the front and rear 2.0 Fox shocks that were like completely rebuilt for this truck. As you can see, I've got a cool roof rack right there on my camper shell. And today is the day that I'm gonna be putting a rack right here, a Rhino Rack by Rack Attack down in Boise. They put that right there on last year. And I said, I need another rack right here, guys. I gotta put a whole bunch more stuff up here. One day I'm gonna put solar up here that's gonna be then tied into one of those battery packs that would then actually start working my fridge. So this thing's gonna be my overland thing. When I go out and I do my squatching, when I go out and I do anything that's gonna release my inner squatch, I am taking this thing. And I'm telling you what now, this thing is an absolute beast. I love the way that this rides. I took it up to my buddy's cabin up in Lowman, Idaho. We got our really cool elk tags for this year, something that's really, really hard to get. So we were putting cameras up all weekend long, and this thing had to go on dirt roads. And with that suspension, it just glides right over all of the rocks and the bumps and the washboards. It was amazing, night and day difference. Love it. So this is my baby. I love it. It is such a powerhouse, and I'm super stoked to head on down and see Michael and his crew down at Rack Attack, because we're gonna be putting a Rhino Rack on the complete cab of my truck, so that way I can haul a lot more stuff. It's gonna be pretty awesome. Come and join us and come along for the ride. All right, guys, so we got John here with Rack Attack, Boise, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about this rack that's going to be going on my truck. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so this is the Rhino Rack Pioneer platform. It's really good for going on any type of vehicle, whether you have a track system or you're mounting it bare roof, fixed point, just like you would do it onto a truck cap, or even going into your rain gutter systems that would use the existing mounting hardware that's already in there. It's really good for mounting tents, off-road accessories, or just making it look good, giving it a little bit more rugged off-road style feel to the vehicle, if that's what you're into and you're not really using it for full capabilities that it is, if you're just using it for road trips and giving it that maximum capability for storage. We've done multiple different setups with that. You can even do light bars, there's attachments for that. You can do water jugs, you can really set it up as needed, as most people would say.
It's pretty universal then, and you can use it for a lot of different things, a lot of different applications.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. How much weight can you put on that?
I believe it's up to 500 pounds or whatever the roof of the vehicle.
Wow. So that's actually pretty good, but if you put a rooftop tent on it, obviously it's going to be more than 500 pounds, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. I mean, it could hold it, because it's going to be going in the rain gutter system, so it's not going to be on the roof itself, but more of the frame of the truck. So you can actually have a little bit more weight, probably.
Yeah, because you're using the strongest mounting points of the roof itself. You're using the pillars of the roof instead of just the empty parts where it's hollow.
Yep. And it's going to be actually so much better and so much nicer than what I've been doing, just throwing everything in the back of my truck underneath my camper shell. And then it's like, where am I going to put my dogs? Where am I going to put all my gear? Like, how's this all going to work? But now I can put everything up there. And then probably one day I'm going to be able to put solar up there.
Right.
And then have it linked into your battery. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, we did do that for a customer a couple months ago, where we put 200-watt solar panels on there linked into electric dog kennels so that he could keep his dogs cool on the road trip.
See, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. So that might be something that we do down the road. But as of today, we're just going to be putting this on, and then we'll be adding some extras to it as time goes on. So I'm really, really excited about this. These guys have been so awesome to work with. So thanks, man. I just really appreciate you.
Of course. That's what we're here for.
All right. Well, cool, man. All right, guys. Hey, Brandon here with Squatchnut, and we are at Rack Attack in Boise. I got Michael here. He is the owner here, and this guy is amazing. He's been super friendly, super awesome to work with. He's got some of the coolest gear that you could have for all of your overlanding, your camping, whatever you want to do. And I'm just going to kind of introduce you to Michael here, and he can tell us a little bit more about who he is and what's going on. So, Mike, how long have you been in the overlanding business?
Yeah, so I've been in the aftermarket rack business since about 1995. Started representing Yakima in the Northwest through an agency that I ended up taking over and running for an additional 10 years. So my background is primarily with Yakima, Pro Rack, and Wisbar, and all of the brands that Yakima's parent company owned for a very long period of time. So I've been selling aftermarket car racks since 1995. The overlanding market is a relatively new category in the United States and really did not exist in the 90s and up through the middle 2000s. So this category that you see with the rooftop tents and the heavier duty fitments for open truck beds really just started to capture the imagination and the consumer mindset, really like mid 2000s. And now it's starting to grow as brands that have a greater familiarity with the consumer, like Yakima, like Thule, in some respects Rhino Rack, although they were an Australian brand and didn't have sort of the market share of the big two of Yakima and Thule. And really, the overlanding market, particularly, didn't take hold until Yakima and Thule started to get behind it from a category perspective. So those are the two areas that we primarily play in here at Rack Attack are going to be aftermarket recreational racks. And then we also play obviously in the overlanding market as well. And we install hitches. So we basically fit on three places on the car. We fit up on the top, we fit on the open truck bed, and we fit off the back of the vehicle. We do some custom work as well. Depending on the complication of the job, we can handle just about everything here as it relates to transporting your goods to wherever you need to go.
That's pretty amazing. How long has Rack Attack been in Boise?
So we opened the store in late April, early May of last year. So we've been here just over a year now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the history of Rack Attack, how long have they been in business?
Yeah, so Rack Attack was born in Vancouver, British Columbia in a single door location. And then they started to open up south of the Canadian border in Seattle and in Portland, and was actually a customer of mine when they were independently operated. And quite frankly, those stores were literally garages that you would pull into that had product sort of stacked up against the walls.
Wow.
Not well merchandised, nothing
like
really
this.
The way that you see it here. And that's the evolution of retail in 2023 is that you have to make it more experiential. You have to make it more friendly for the consumer to come in and to be able to shop and get their hands on physical displays on the product. And that was always a barrier to entry in this category because it can be a little overwhelming for the vast majority of consumers that don't really know how to get started. And so our job with our staff is to make it easy for the consumer to understand, forecast, and tell them exactly, how we can help them, asking them the right questions around what it is that they want to carry, the lengths of the trips, the number of people in your party, all those types of things to sort of break it down into simple common denominator of a set of products that sometimes you've got to marry between different brands. And because these brands use different fasteners, they use different tolerances, different ways to accomplish the same things. That's where the challenge lies with this category, is when you've got to kind of cross pollinate between brands. And so that's how long we've been here. And Rack Attack, basically, what happened is a capital investment firm came in and bought up not only the existing Rack Attacks, but they're also acquiring other independent rack doors in markets, and then converting them into what you see here. So it gives a consistent look and feel that when a customer of ours comes into the Boise location, or they're in the Winnipeg location, or LA, or wherever they're at, there's a systematic and there's a comfort and a convenience and an expectation of what they're going to see in store. So we've just sort of put a polish on the category, and again, brought the product out on the floor so you can touch and you can feel it. You can crawl up into all of our tents. And that's been really the touchstone around connecting what it is and how this product is going to live on the customer's car, because eventually you've got to own it.
Yeah.
It's going to leave here, and you have to be happy with what's going to be going on top of your car, particularly as it relates to rooftop tents. These are huge investments.
Yeah.
Of money, of real estate on your vehicle. And, these suckers are 165, 200 pounds, just the tents themselves. And so we got to make sure you understand all of the positives and some of the challenges, more positives and challenges around owning this product and how you're going to manage it on and off the car. So that's what we do here. We're counselors, we just help you walk through the process. And, our product tends to sit up here in the price matrix. We really don't delve into, and we don't service the low end market in this category, because it's our humble opinion that you get what you pay for here.
Absolutely.
And if it were all about price, we'd all be driving Geo Metros, which we don't.
That's true.
And there's nothing wrong with Geo Metros. We fit Geo Metros. But my point is that if you understand the price value relationship of what we sell here, you'll understand that when you buy a rooftop tent, when you buy a cargo box or a base rack system, if it's maintained properly, it should last you the rest of your days. And so the cost per use over the long haul versus playing on the low end and having to replace that product, after a couple of years, we feel like the price value relationship is a lot stronger if we play in the middle to the upper end of the spectrum. And that's primarily where we service in terms of the product mix that we sell here.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in that, as well as you get what you pay for. If you want to go cheap, you're going to get something cheap, and it's not going to last the life of you, your car, or the product.
That's right.
And you guys have got superior product here. And so with that, the price may be a little bit higher, but it's because it's quality. You're focusing on the quality, not the quantity.
That's correct.
And that's what's super important. What are the 3 main brands or 4 brands that you guys carry here in the store?
Sure. So obviously, the big 2 that represent the vast majority of market share in the United States market are going to be Yakima and Thule. Between the 2 of them, on top of the car, and now really off proliferation off the back, those 2 companies own the majority of the market share. But we also represent a brand by the name of Squstchnut, which came on incredibly strong with a new, really striking and dynamic design language in their product, and they really made huge inroads, came in at a 45-degree angle, particularly in the hitch rack market, and really made Yakima and Thule step up their game and pay more attention to what the customer is actually asking for there. So I'd say the 3 biggest brands that we assort here in terms of overall volume are going to be Yakima, Thule, and Squstchnut. Between those 3, they own plus 95, 96% of the U.S. market share in the aftermarket rack business. We also assort Rhino, which, as I mentioned earlier, they're primarily known as an Australian brand, but they were acquired by a capital investments firm out of Salt Lake City, and now they're putting more of an American sort of spin and more of an American, North American kind of feel around their product mix. So Rhino's making some nice inroads too, because they have a very strong reputation, particularly in the overland market, particularly in New South Wales, Australia, New Zealand. That's really where they made their business. The Pioneer platform is really their benchmark product. That's the one that most folks know about. But to answer your question, I'd say Kuat, Yakima, and Thule are our big three right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're not really going to find anybody else in this valley who really can kind of carry what you guys carry and have the array of different products that you can fit to those rack systems.
Yeah.
You guys really cover everything very, very well. And I'm going to say right here, right now, that it's a lot more than anybody else in the valley. You guys can accommodate to everything.
Yeah. Well, it's a great point because we are laser focused on one category. You know, I've worked in a lot of retail environments, and again, as a sales rep, owner of an agency where we had literally thousands of accounts throughout the entire Northwest, including Alaska. The reality is that when you play in a lot of categories, you can do a lot of things well, but you may not excel in one particular thing.
Yeah.
And so, with our focus being so laser pointed on the aftermarket car category and vehicle category, yeah, we stock it deep and narrow relative to the category that we service in the market. And so, I'd say roughly 8 to 9 customers that come into our store have got a pain point or they've got a problem that they need a solution for. And we really enjoy that because we're glorified, as I mentioned, we're counselors,
yeah.
we're consultants, but we're also problem solvers.
Yeah.
And so we really try to step back and understand what the customer is telling us. And while we have our own personal opinions on what we like a little bit better, unless we're asked about that, we're really focused on the customer's needs, wants, and desires. And then we'll give our opinion when it's warranted and when we're asked for it.
Yeah.
You know?
I've really enjoyed working with you guys. Last year I came in and you guys put that Yakima crossbar system on my camper shell.
Awesome.
So I can put my rooftop tent on that, and then I can carry my snowboards in the winter. And you guys asked me the questions. Hey, how much are you going to be putting on these? Like, how much weight?
Yeah, that's right.
And so we went with the heavy duty ones.
Nice.
And because of that, and you guys were problem solving, we were able to actually rectify and actually fit a product for the needs that I needed.
Yeah.
And you don't get that with anybody else. A lot of people are going to be like, well, we've got this, and this is what we got.
This is all we have.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they just want you to take the product and leave their store.
Totally.
And there's no customer service there.
Yeah.
There's no relationship building. And you guys focus on all of that.
Yeah, it's a great point. And we're just trying to build it one customer at a time. We're really focused on again, just making sure that we're qualifying the needs of the customer, not overselling what they don't need, but also, you know, thinking about the future. We have a lot of young families that come in and they're focused on, you know, the immediate need. And in today's retail, in our world in general, there's so many choices across every decision we make, either from a retail standpoint or whatever it is, that can be a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
So really, again, I'm teaching our guys to really, really tune in and listen to what the customer is saying, and then focus our strategy around providing that solution around a couple of key different answers to their questions, you know, without overwhelming them with too many options. Teaching our guys how to focus on actually listening to what our customers are saying, because I agree with you. We're all consumers. We all shop retail. I'm a big believer in brick and mortar because I don't know how you can shop for this at Amazon. And certainly, while we get showroomed, which is a term that's used in retail where people will come in, kick the tires, and then go and buy it online, we understand that that's a construct of where we are as a consumer mindset. Our job is to hold them here and to provide a greater level of value and of confidence while they're in store that I'm not 100% convinced you can capture by clicking a buy now button on Amazon. And in fact, we've had a lot of customers just anecdotally that have kind of gone that route because they've saved a few bucks. And not every time, but a lot of times, you know, it's not what they were buying, what they looked at on a picture on a screen is not what kind of comes in the box when it lands on their door. So we do deal with some of that. So we just try to capture that and be honest, be upfront, and again, forecast with our customer, tell them exactly what we're going to do for them, because our installations are also a big component of our business too. So we try to complete that circle to go, you know, here's your fitment for your vehicle. And I'd say we install about 70% of what we sell here, but there's also a large portion of our customers that are mechanically inclined and can do it themselves, and hey, that's great too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What I loved about what you just said is the customer facing, right? The person to person interaction. You're not going to find that on Amazon, guys. When I walked in the store this morning, first off, John and Efron were like, "Hey, Brandon, it's good to see you again." They knew me by my first name. You're not going to get that with Amazon. You're going to sign into Amazon. You're just another number. You're just another person. You're another consumer. Here, you're a person. And they ask questions. What can we do for you today? What are we going to be doing for your truck? So we are going to be doing the Pioneer rack with the Rhino platform. And that's going to be going on the truck today. And I'm over here and I'm just drooling because I'm looking at all these other cool things I'm going to be adding to it. I'm going to get some lights on it.
Beauty.
I want to get some, I see tents right here in front of me, and I want to get one that actually goes like 360.
Nice. Yeah. We've got a 200 cup. The new category is 270 degree.
Ooh, that's insane.
Like with a centralized hub. You can get a driver's side or a passenger side and literally have a freestanding 270 degree awning. The one that comes to mind, there's a couple, the Batwing from Rhino, but there's also the Major Shady from Yakima that's got some cool features. So awnings are coming on strong.
Yeah.
We're kind of in the middle of our prime selling season right now. So we're really focused on making sure we have the right inventory in at the right time. So we're not having to have what we call get backs, which is, we're gonna get back to you. We're gonna pull it from this store, pull it from that store. Our goal is to try to pull everything together in store. And while we're generally successful with that, it's not uncommon during this time of the year for us to need a few extra days. So, because we do get a lot of customers like, I needed this yesterday. And so we work as hard as we can to make sure that we're meeting the consumer timelines on forthcoming trips and just trying to make it easy for them to pull everything together in a meaningful fashion so we can get it fit and get ready to go on your trip. I mean, that's really the bottom line, is we just want to get the right product in the hands of our customers at the right time, the right value, in the right time frame.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys worked really well with me, and I just appreciate it very much.
Cool, man.
So these guys are actually, we're going to be sponsoring them at Squatchcon. They're going to be there. We're going to have some really cool giveaways. We got some koozies. We've got some stickers. We've got this really cool like Velcro patch that we can be handing out. And then we've got some discount cards as well. So we're going to be having the truck on display at Squatchcon, so you can be able to see everything that they've done, all of the rack systems that they put on, and we'll be utilizing it so you can see just the features and how it's all worked, and how you can work it for your specific needs. But come down here, check these guys out. These guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We're psyched to be involved with Squatchcon, and we're looking forward to that partnership and working with you today and down the road.
All right, guys.
So we thank you.
So just got done, and I just picked up my truck. Well, I'm gonna pick it up. It's right here in front of me. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. But I'm telling you right now, this thing is sexy. It looks so good, and I am really, really excited about what this rack is going to do, and it's gonna be able to provide for me. And when I go out squatching or camping or hunting, I'm gonna be using it this weekend. So it's gonna be awesome. So check this out, guys. Guys, I couldn't be more impressed with the install. This actually looks so clean. I can't even tell you, and I can't even begin to express my gratitude to Rack Attack for everything that they have done. The craftsmanship and the level of expertise, just how clean this thing is, how it sits right here in the rails, is unbelievable. I'm gonna tell you right here, right now, that I am so glad that there's actually a space that's between the rack and the roof of my truck. So if there's anything that needs to be tightened, or if there's anything that I need to get in there and strap down, I'll be able to climb in there and get my hand underneath the rack, tighten up those nuts or those bolts as I'm driving down all these dirt roads when we go overlanding, and make sure that everything is safe and secure. Then I can also strap everything down as well. So I'm telling you right now, this thing, this Rhino Rack, the quality and the craftsmanship is next to none. And thanks to Michael and his crew, they had done an amazing job. Johnny and Efron, like, great job, guys. Super impressed, super happy, and you guys have earned my business, and I will be back. You guys need to come down here to Boise, Idaho, right next to the Boise Town Square Mall. And right here by Men's Warehouse, Rack Attack is the place to be. These guys have got it all. Whatever your application is, whatever you need, they can get you taken care of, and that's because they ask the questions, and that's because they want to make sure that you're putting you in the right product. Thanks again, Rack Attack. Thanks again, Michael, and to your team. Great job, and you guys have got my business from here on out.